According to Nietzsche, it is to no longer feel ashamed of ourselves. A truly free person feels no shame about who they are. He also believes that those who shame others are acting with bad intentions. But why does he hold these beliefs? That's what I'll explore in this video, starting with a simple question. What does it mean to be free? Before we dive in, let's try a social experiment. Pause this video for a moment and write in the comments a quote that has marked your life. By doing this, you might inspire or help someone else. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It helps our community grow stronger every day. Without further ado, let's get into the video. In The Gay Science, Nietzsche poses a profound question. What does your conscience most desire from you? It desires that you become who you were born to be. Let me clarify this idea. This concept is a cornerstone of Nietzsche's philosophy, and not only do I agree with it, but I also see it as the starting point for this brief exploration. Everyone has a true self they must strive to become. The challenge lies in the fact that not everyone will achieve this goal. Picture yourself as an acorn. Like the seed of an oak tree, you carry within you the complete potential of that majestic tree. But if the conditions are unfavorable, poor soil, lack of sunlight, insufficient rain or nutrients, you might never fully grow into that oak tree. Freedom, therefore, is the ability to become who you truly are, to achieve the fullest expression of yourself. With this idea in mind, let's revisit the issue of shame. Why is feeling shame so harmful? Shame can prevent you from fully becoming yourself. To understand how this happens, let's examine the concept of shame more closely. The ashamed mind says, "Who I am is not who I should be." But what does this actually mean? The mind holds an ideal, a mental image of what it means to be a man, a woman, a parent, or a spouse. The ashamed mind constantly compares itself to this ideal image and deems itself inadequate. This comparison, the perception that who I am is not who I should be, leads to shame. But where do these ideal images come from? They all stem from society. Think about it. As a baby, did you have any idea of what you should do? Probably not. You simply did what you wanted to do. A pure mind says, "This is what I want to do." A conditioned mind says, "This is what I should do." When you live in should mode, you're not being yourself. You're being who society wants you to be, conforming to a standard celebrated by society. In other words, you become a puppet of the system. Understanding this reveals why Nietzsche considers shame so cruel. Shaming others is rejecting who they are. Shaming others is forcing them to become who you want them to be, rather than allowing them to be themselves. And when you submit to the shame imposed by others, you reject your true self. What happens when we reject our true selves? In Healing the Shame That Binds You by John Bradshaw, he explains that to escape shame, people often create false personalities. Take this example. When Pedro was a little boy, he was highly sensitive, artistic, and intuitive. He would cry during sad movies or melancholy music. Instead of playing sports, he spent his time drawing and was deeply empathetic to others' feelings. These were Pedro's strengths. He could have become a great artist one day. But Pedro's mother constantly compared him to his brother, saying things like, "You should be more athletic and outgoing like your brother. He's a real man. You're just a scrawny boy who does nothing." Her constant belittling made Pedro think, "Who I am is not who I should be. There's something deeply wrong with me." To escape his shame, Pedro abandoned his true self, the sensitive, artistic, intuitive self, and adopted a false persona. He started imitating his brother's actions, going to the gym, playing football, and becoming an entirely ordinary guy. He played this masculine role, wearing this mask to protect himself from shame. To play this role convincingly, Pedro had to first believe in it himself, cutting off all contact with his authentic self. By doing so, he lived a life focused on external appearances rather than internal growth, turning himself into an empty shell. He felt lonelier and more isolated than ever, even in the company of others, because they couldn't see his true self. What happened to Pedro in the end? Fortunately, at some point, Pedro realized he was trapped in relationships with people, especially his mother and brother, who didn't truly care about him. He saw that by living the life they wanted for him, he wasn't living at all. Pedro decided to stop playing the role. He found people who accepted him for who he truly was and began living in alignment with his real intentions. He reconnected with his authentic self and built genuine relationships. No longer did he feel as isolated or empty as before. Why is shame harmful? Shame, particularly toxic shame, keeps us from becoming who we truly are. It's the kind that arises from the belief that who I am is not who I should be. Of course, there may be a healthy form of shame that helps us improve certain behaviors, but to feel ashamed of your essence, of who you truly are, is the most irrational thing you can do. In the end, this is just my interpretation of Nietzsche's words, not exact advice. However, I'd like to leave you with this thought. Never fall into the madness of playing a role just to be accepted by others. Stay true to who you really are. Stay true to your essence.